So we all know that Donald Trump is a wannabe dictator. He admires dictators around the world. He wants to be just like them. But the unfortunate reality for the Republican Party right now is that their congresspeople and members of the party are being forced to defend Donald Trump's admiration of these dictators. And there's no real defense, so it always goes incredibly poorly. So I have a clip for you here today and more of Republican Congressman Chuck Edwards being asked why he supports Donald Trump when Trump is so clearly Putin's puppet. And as I just described, didn't go well for him. Just take a look at the clip and we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Why do you support a president that cares nothing about NATO, Ukraine, and democracy, but cares about Putin and other dictators?
Actually, I believe that the president is very supportive of Ukraine. I believe the president recognizes that Putin is a murderous dictator.
Edwards repeatedly booed as he took questions for 90 minutes.
Like him or not, Elon Musk has brought a lot of really smart people to Doge.
One interaction turning so contentious, this man had to be escorted out.
You don't get to do this to us!
Yeah, and I love that all the people in the crowd were not letting him get away with the BS of, oh, I actually think that Donald Trump supports Ukraine and I think he stands up to Putin. No, he doesn't. Donald Trump recently cut off intelligence sharing with Ukraine, leading to thousands of innocent people dying. He cut off military aid and he kicked Zelensky out of the Oval Office, meanwhile caving to every single one of Vladimir Putin's demands when it comes to this conflict that's happening in Eastern Europe. The idea that Donald Trump is pro-democracy and pro-Ukraine is ludicrous, and that crowd of people, made up of Democrats, Republicans, independents, made sure to let their Republican congressmen know. That's why all these Republicans are no longer doing these town halls all around the country, because it ends in this way every single time. The idea that Donald Trump likes democracies and likes liberal leaders is insane. And it's not just Donald Trump, right? Members of his administration have this weird affinity for dictators around the country. We just saw the other day Elon Musk retweeting a message about Adolf Hitler saying that actually he wasn't responsible for the killing of millions. It was actually a different group of people. Here's an article from Forbes on this. Musk, who has over 219 million followers on X or Twitter, reposted a post saying Soviet revolutionary Joseph Stalin, former Chinese Communist Party chairman Mao Zedong, and Hitler, whose regimes under his discretion orchestrated the Holocaust, did not murder millions of people, saying instead, quote, their public sector workers did. The post had 1 million views and 14,000 likes as of Thursday evening. And his post comes as Tesla is facing boycotts around the world because of Elon Musk's behavior. So we have Donald Trump, who's caving to every single one of Putin's demands. We have Elon Musk retweeting history revisionism about Hitler and other major dictators throughout history. It's abundantly clear that these Republican leaders are so in love with the idea of authoritarianism and dictatorships. And we've known this about Donald Trump, especially when it comes to Putin. I mean, you can see this image on your screen from when Trump met with Putin in Helsinki in 2018. This is kind of tells you everything you need to know. A picture's worth 1,000 words, where Putin is so happy with himself. Donald Trump is looking deflated because he got rolled over by Putin. This is the same meeting where Donald Trump said that he trusts Putin more than he trusts our own intelligence agencies, something that Donald Trump almost doubled down on immediately after. So we know that Donald Trump has an affinity for Putin, but do you all remember the love letters that Trump and Kim Jong-un were sending each other? I mean, Trump has this long history of looking up to these leaders who oppress their people with love, with admiration, and then looking at democratic leaders like Zelensky, Macron, Trudeau with disdain. Like, here's a quote from one of the letters that Kim Jong-un sent to Donald Trump that are regarded as love letters saying, quote, this is Kim Jong-un to Donald Trump, like the brief time we had together a year in Singapore, every minute we shared 103 days ago in Hanoi was also a moment of glory that remains a precious memory. Such a precious memory that I have in my unwavering respect for you will provide impetus for me to take steps when we walk toward each other again someday in the future. Your Excellency, Mr. President, I still respect and lay my hopes on the will and determination that you showed in our first meeting to resolve the issue of our unique style that nobody had ever tried and to write a new history. Today's reality is that without a new approach and the courage it takes, the prospects for resolution of the issue will only be bleak. I believe the one day will come sooner or later when we sit down together to make great things happen. And happy birthday once again, Your Excellency. I hope Your Excellency will always be in good health and achieve success in work. I mean, this is love letter 101. Kim Jong-un is sucking up to Donald Trump. He sees himself in Trump. He sees this leader that wants these major parades where everybody is saying they love Trump, they love him, and they love everything that he's doing. And of course, this wasn't a one-sided relationship. This wasn't Putin just sucking up to Donald Trump. It was a two-way street. Donald Trump sent his own letters to Putin, as you can see on your screen right now, saying in January 8th of 2019, when Trump was president the first time, "Dear Chairman Kim, I heard it was your birthday and wanted to wish you a happy day. You will have many great years of celebration and success. Your country will soon be on a historic and prosperous path. Sincerely yours, Donald J. Trump." This is Donald Trump writing a letter to a dictator who starves his own people, uses weapons against his own people, spends money on missiles to attack other countries, then spending money on infrastructure and things like that. That's Donald Trump. That's who he writes birthday messages to. That's who he celebrates, as opposed to, as I mentioned, the liberal leaders of the world who stand up for democracy and push back on dictators. It's just an unfortunate situation for a Republican congressman to be in because they have to try to defend this. And as we just saw with Republican Representative Chuck Edwards, it doesn't go well. They falter every single time. They stumble every single time. They get booed by their own constituents. Many of these constituents voted for these people. I think 2026 is going to be very rough for these Republican representatives who are up for re-election because they're going to have to justify their cuts to these programs and their love of Donald Trump to their voters. And I don't think that's going to go well. So I'll wrap up the video here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have an amazing rest of your day.